Where do you dine in Atlantic City?
There's so many to enjoy locally, whether it's White House Sub Shop on game day. I mean, we drive all the way into the city just for subs on game day. There's Tony's Baltimore Grill, great pizza. We've had some great dinners at Knife and Fork. There's just so many places in town. It's too many to name, really.
Tell us something about Atlantic City that most people don't know.
Chef Ola's, hands down, Chef Ola's, best kept secret in town.
What's the best place to take a date?
There's so many great fine dining restaurants and places that you can go, whether it be Borgata or Revel or Harrah's or somewhere just locally in town where you can really get to know someone and have some great conversation.
What's your favorite place to get a drink?
Gypsy Bar, I think. It's a great place to people watch. It's a very eclectic crowd, and the scene definitely evolves from the start of the night to the end of the night, so it's a lot of fun.
Where do you like to get sushi?
I'm going to have to go for Borgata on this one as well, Izakaya. Not just from the sushi standpoint, but they've got the Robotiaki grill, which is just awesome, the best lobster skewers. So even if you're a sushi fan and someone else isn't, there's plenty for everybody there. And it's family style, you can share, try a bunch of different things. It's a really great place to go.
Where do you recommend having a bachelor or bachelorette party?
My brother-in-law had a great bachelor party, went to dinner at Chelsea Prime, then went over to Dusk at Caesars, had a great time over there, played a little bit at Caesars, was a lot of fun for them. Bachelorette party, I would probably stick with the immersion spa, start off there, then grab some dinner, go to Mix or Murmur with the girls, and then you've got breakfast the next morning for whatever hangover cure there is, but I would have to default to Borgata for that.
Where do you like to shop?
The Apple Store. It's kind of very magical. I just angels sing when you walk in, and everything's magical. And there's hundreds of people working, it seems, that can help you through absolutely anything. And I enjoy going there.
What are the best spots to take the kids?
My kids love the Atlantic City Aquarium, especially my 4-year-old. He loves the touch tank. My older one loves the Steel Pier for the rides. He's graduated into some of the big boy rides. He's 7 but very adventurous. We've gone to the circus at Boardwalk Hall. So many different things you can do with the kids as well.
What is the biggest misconception about Atlantic City that you hate?
That there's nothing to do here but gamble. And I'm sure everybody says that, but that's pretty much what everybody thinks right off the bat. But I mean, from the shopping to the entertainment, there's just so much more to do here, even if it's for adults, families. There's a lot going on. I mean, you've got the boardwalk, you've got the beach in the summertime, great shopping, and there's so much history here. And that's one of the things that I think is really cool when you go to some of the restaurants that have been in town for decades and generations. There's just so much history that's really neat and it really at your fingertips. I mean, to see people in photographs and things like that actually dining in the same restaurant that you were at, that's really cool.
Why should people come to Atlantic City as opposed to other places with gambling?
Atlantic City, you can get to it in a day. I mean, if you wanted to make a whole day trip about it, you don't have to pack bags and wait online at an airport to get on the plane and do all those things. It's just a really quick shot, whether you're coming from New York straight down the Parkway or coming from Pennsylvania right down the Atlantic City Expressway. It's very accessible.
Tell us about a night in AC that you'll never forget.
It was a few years ago. Bon Jovi was performing at Boardwalk Hall, and I had shared a story with my vice president at the time that when I was in middle school and he was on tour for Slippery When Wet, that we weren't able to get me a ticket. My parents weren't able to get it. All my friends went, I couldn't go. And they kind of rubbed it in because when you're 13-year-old girls, that's just what happens. So I shared that story that I never got to go see that concert. Well, mysteriously that night he pulled out a concert ticket for the Bon Jovi show at Boardwalk Hall. He said, "Go, you're leaving now, go." So I went over and I sat in the VIP section, and the way the stage was set up, there was a catwalk that kind of came out on both sides, and John Bon Jovi came out and he was singing to the crowd off of the top catwalk, and I was right there in the VIP section, and I know he was singing to me for all those years ago for Slippery When Wet. So yeah, I told my husband that Bon Jovi was singing to me, and he said, "I'm sure he was," and that was a very memorable night for me that made up for all those years ago. So it was a lot of fun.